Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen. I'm so glad that you guys have tuned in once again for another hour of interesting conversation. So if you're looking via social media, you'll see that I am not in studio by myself, but I do have a great individual that is with us on today that I'm excited about having, and that is Mr. Kason Gates. And so we appreciate him being with us today. He is a mental health therapist. So today we're going to begin a conversation that will continue over the next few weeks, culminating with a number of brothers that will be in the conversation room talking about Black men, our mental health, how we doing, how we faring, all of that good stuff. But before we get started, you know how we do. I got to tell you what's on my mind. So shout out to everybody out there who has enjoyed the holiday weekend. We have, as I've heard it, we've had an amazing weekend with fireworks and things of that nature. We have had some incidences that have occurred over this past weekend. It's such a sad thing to the young brother who died via drowning. I've been just kind of catching up with that. I was not in town this weekend, but our hearts and prayers, thoughts and prayers are toward them. To my man Jimmy Green, who's tuning in on our social media stream. Good evening. Let's like, tag, and share this conversation with those that are around you. So our hearts and my prayers go out. You know, one of the things that's so vitally important, and I say this all the time, is that one of the most dangerous barriers that we have, is an awareness barrier, just the gap of awareness, not being aware, and then also coupled with an access gap. And this is in reference to the young man that drowned. They say that young Black kids are 10 times more likely to drown in a public pool or private pool. And a lot of that has to do because we just don't know how to swim. And our young people are in dangerous situations because we have held on to internal stereotypes within the organization that Black people don't swim. And for that purpose, and also, as I said, that access and awareness barrier of not having those things accessible to us for the most part, have kept our young people in dangerous statistical data as it relates to what's taking place. You guys are now streaming in our social media streams. Also, shout out to Olga Jones. Cassin, she gives you a shout out. Sharice Steele Phillips, there she is, one of our most dedicated loyal listeners out there. To Rose Coleman, I know some men who are mentally unstable and won't get help. That happens. We're going to talk about what happens there. But I also want to talk about something big happened, man, within this past week. So much has happened. We have talked for quite a bit over what was going on with ICE and their raids of community and where were Black people going to jump in the fight. I told y'all, this ain't our fight. We didn't fought the 50s, 60s, 70s. We're going to let them have this one since they voted for the man who is now deporting family members. I didn't understand that in the first place because it was not a secret. He told you what he was going to do, and then he did it. And so now we are also dealing with some issues that are very important to talk about. I know we addressed them this morning when we were in service, but this new big beautiful bill, if that's what they're calling it, but it's a disastrous bill for many people. The loss of health care for our most vulnerable. When we think about what programs and who's going to be impacted by this crazy work that Congress has done, starting with the Senate and then continuing the blow with our House, we have to look at the youngest and the oldest of us, is those seniors and those children that are going to be most impacted. Most people don't realize how much our schools have undertaken a lot of what takes place in our community. Churches have done a great job in supporting and doing what they can. But our schools have been really burdened with not only just educating our kids, but disciplining our children, having to police our children, uh, and then also having to be social workers at the same time. There are so many positions in our schools that were built because families just were at a deficit, were it educationally, were it economic stresses that existed. Saginaw, 43% of our community in the city of Saginaw falls in what is called an ALICE population. That is asset limited income. What is it? What's the C for? You know, asset limited income constrained. There we go. Asset limited income constrained employed. And basically, what that means is they are the working poor. We stand below as a city the national average as we look at the poverty line. It is tremendous. Almost 99% of our students, and in some cases, 100% of our students fall in the free lunch program realm. All of our kids get free lunch. There are programs that are sending food home for kids over the weekend because not only do we live in the desert, but we also have a strong, we have working poor that are still below the national lines. We are leading the state in terms of our poverty rates. And now we are having to deal with things that made those programs that schools were able to work with challenging, if not non-existing. And we're talking about the decrease to Medicare and Medicaid, those things, those other ancillary programs that exist. Some people, if you get SNAP benefits, there are a whole suite of programs that made it more easy for you to function and to manage your family, or at least gave you some support. We see an attack on all of those things. And news flash, I'm going to tell you the craziest thing that's out there is that the people that are going to be suffering greatly, I'm not going to say the most, but they're going to be suffering greatly are those people who put on them red MAGA hats and decided to vote for Donald Trump. This is not about Democrats and Republicans. This is about rich and poor. This ain't even about, well, yes, it is. It is. I was going to say it's not about black or white, but in this particular situation, y'all all can get it. They saying everybody can get it. It's about the rich. It's about aristocracies. It's about oligarchs. And unfortunately, that's where we are. So my question to the community, those who are out there, there's so many great things that are going on. Shout out to my guy, Otis Ray, who was on Community Connections with Joyce Harvin just before I came on. But the reality of the situation, and I gave him a shout out because he's working with our young men with I call it the Great Lakes Gators at this point, because he's doing Saginaw, Midland Bay City, really working with our young people, doing things and taking them places and working on those awareness barriers, allowing them to see that there's a world that is bigger than Saginaw. All of us have to begin to do this thing. My heart was encouraged on last week. I was able to go over to the Houghton Jones Neighborhood Association, and I saw my brother Asigid and my brother Gary and Coach Flowers over there, and they were having a mentoring session with young men. And so I just went to observe, but of course, that there's none of that when you get, brothers together who are really concerned about our young people. So we had some time to be able to talk and make things happen. We're going to be working together. My desire is I would love to see every single one of our community, our neighborhoods, have something that looks like that. And then we could all partner together and come together on things and make things happen. So shout out to those men out there who are making a difference. And I got to say this because, all of our black men, we get a bad rap sometime. And I know last month was the month of June, and it was Father's Day and Men's Mental Health. But we're going to do something different. I said, let's normalize celebrating one another. And so my brother that's here today is going to, we're going to talk about that. What can we do to really support, to celebrate, to empower our black men who are out there making great things happen? Our women have done an amazing job. Shout out to all of those women. A number of them are in the stream. Shout out to Grady Mitchell down there in Pensacola, Florida. Thank you for tuning in. Alma Ball Collier. Then that lady over there named Geraldine Walker. She's the most beautiful woman in the world. That happens to be my mother. So the good looks and charms, that's where they come from. So Alga Jones and everyone else that is out there, shout out, shout out, shout out. But I want to turn the corner now. We're going to get in there. I'm going to say what up to what it do to my producer. What's going on, My main man, Matt, aka White Chocolate. What's happening?
What up, Doe? How are you doing
What
today?
up, Doe? With the standard Detroit greeting. You in Saginaw now, man. So you got to say Saginaw awesome. Now I'm just messing with you, my man. But we're gonna get into today's show. Let's talk. Let's talk about it. Get your brothers, your friends, your nephews into this conversation. We need to really have a strong conversation with everything that's going on, with Black families being hit left and right, with civil rights being attacked to a major issue. I'm gonna ask my brother. Casson, just give a shout out. You've been here before. We had an amazing conversation, and you were well received. I want to say this about you, so y'all get ready before he begins talking. I'm like a brother on 12, right? I'm on 12 all the time. But when I speak with Casson is such a what's the term? He is a whisperer. I'm gonna call him a black man whisperer. When he speaks, like it's like I just come right down. His voice, his tone of quality, and those things, which are very important when dealing with people who are struggling. I appreciate you being here, Cass, and give a shout out to the Straight Talk audience.
Hey, good afternoon, Brother Kareem. Thank you for your kind words. It's an honor to be here. Much respect is given your way as well. I really appreciate you and what it is that you're doing for the community. Thank you very much.
My brother, man, there's so much that has happened since the last time we've been here. And man, just where are you at? Okay, I know that you're always talking and working with other individuals, but seeing all the dynamics of things that have happened, seeing the attack, and that's what it is. There's no other way to say it, on Black America, on civil rights, on all of the things. This raid on ICE on our brothers, our brown brothers, who we gonna step in? We gonna step in. We just had to let y'all know that we are truly better together, because some of y'all got the idea that you would come in and then experience whiteness. Now you see what that looks like. So get back in the struggle with your brothers on the darker side, and let's make this thing happen. We gonna get it together. We're gonna make it happen. We aren't abandoning this coalition, even though many times we have felt abandoned. But I want you to know, Casson, where are we at? Where are you at? Black man to black man. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm in a good space. I feel like I'm making some level of an impact with the people that I'm working with. They seem to reciprocate that by continually visiting with me and sharing some of their progress on how it is that they're moving. We are definitely in a state and a place that we need to be able to connect with some level of services to provide us a level of escape.
Yeah.
And to be able to share this load that we carry. Black men do and have historically always carried a label.
What's the label? Let's talk about it.
The short answer is absent.
Yeah.
Or lazy, unengaged, and it's the furthest thing from the truth. A lot of that is supported by media, paper sales, TV sales, music, and so there's a narrative out there that when you talk about the real community of men that are active in their community in their homes, it's overlooked.
You know, Cass, and I'm glad I didn't know that you were going to start here, but you're starting right up my alley. One of the things that we continually hear is that black men are absent. When we look at the statistical data, it shows that black men are the most involved
Absolutely.
Of any racial demographic.
That's right.
When it comes to being present for their children.
That's right.
And I think that we buy into the narrative. Why do so many black men leave their kids? But the reality of the situation is that when you look at the data, and data don't lie, okay, your feelings aren't facts, and your feelings don't change the facts, but your facts should change your feelings about what's going on. We have to stop buying into those narratives.
Exactly.
So when you look at that, the story is that we aren't present. You're saying that we are present, more present. What is it that, as a black man who works in the community, who deals with issues of mental health, what is the thing that you want people to know when we hear that narrative? What would be your pushback on that conversation?
So we certainly don't want to get into an argument or a back and forth with anyone trying to validate what it is that we do. I would think that the goal is to try to link with like-minded people, stay connected to the movement that you're associated with, and keep moving on doing what you're doing. We understand this is it's an attack by media and by the mainstream to keep that narrative going. We have to stay focused on what it is that we're trying to do and let your work speak for itself.
Now, bruh, I got to ask you this question. What would be the reason the media and others might want to put forth that type of communication, that kind of language, put those images forth that black men aren't present?
Well, the short answer would be respectfully, I don't want to offend anyone, hate.
Okay.
There's a large hate factor. Someone has in their perspective, someone has to be the blame for all of this. So they've designated a target historically. They've designated. Think about this real quick.
Man, take your time.
Quick, think about this. 1 million men have spent their lives in prison 25 years for selling marijuana. Now it's one on every other corner. And none of them are ran by black.
Well, there's one I know for
Okay,
sure.
okay.
But yeah, but I get your point.
In
Absolutely.
large quantity. But they're the one who did the lion's share of the incarceration.
Still doing. Some of them still.
So again, we got to find and put this blame on someone. So let's pick that target. And historically, we've been you was talking about our brown brethren,
Yeah.
in Indian and Asian, that when that movement was going on,
Yeah.
when we was marching in Montgomery and integrating the schools, I didn't see them. I couldn't identify who they were and where they were. But the benefits of being able to go to the University of Michigan and Michigan State,
Man,
and Harvard, I'm just saying.
No, there was a fight. We've been kicking in doors since we've been in this place.
I'm just saying.
And not just kicking them in and kicking them off the hinges so that other people, and this is people, they make light of this, but as a black man, you got to understand our brothers were hanging like strange fruit from trees. Like the challenge that we have experienced as a people, we talk about the historical trauma. We talk about compounded trauma, because I'm going to tell you, it can be very traumatic when you as a people have suffered your entire life and having to fight tooth and nail for every single thing that you get, every benefit. And then someone else comes over on a plane or across a border, and then they're given status that you had to fight and your forefathers had to die for and had to swing from poplar trees. It is a traumatic, that's compounded trauma.
Absolutely.
And we begin to ask ourselves the question, why am I not good enough? And we begin to say, oh, well, what's the issue? It's the black men. Well, our black men are in our families. At least they were, until we had something called the crack epidemic. And since black folks weren't having planes and, boats that were shipping these things over, there was a concerted effort to destroy our communities.
Yeah.
So they recognize that we have a resilience that increases, that exists. Black Wall Street, the Renaissance, Harlem. When we look at all of the things that are going on, and we talk about Black Renaissance, but when I say that, there were civilizations across this country that mirrored that kind of growth.
Exactly.
That one was just popular because of the story, but they all were either burned down, or in the case of Atlanta, Georgia, where there was a huge city with people being self-sufficient, they Lake Lanier, they changed the direction of the and they flooded. Literally, you go under there, there's homes and houses. Someone just drowned there, by the way. Y'all gonna learn to stay off that lake. The souls of the black folks still mad. But those things, and so they say that it's because the black man is not in the home. But there was a step-by-step concerted effort to bring us to that place.
Absolutely. And you take Saginaw, or all of the local community areas around, until they put that highway up.
Yeah.
The highway of tears that ran through all of the communities that separate them. These were very thriving communities, man.
And so we see environmental issues like that take place, where some people are like, oh, well, there was a need for infrastructure and eminent domain. But really what happens is when there's too much growth and folks are coming together and we're doing things that are positive. So I hope all my Black folks are listening out there. When you come together, you do a lot of things that are positive. Sometimes we have the government, not sometimes, we usually have government entities backed by the Supreme Court power. Y'all got to do your history, and they will do things like that. So now we have what is a vital, growing, thriving Black community that was meant to support the Black workers that were needed to make sure that these new plants and these auto industries were happening. Once they began to get those paychecks and live and not live in poverty, but start to build and buy. 6th Street, there were businesses, Black businesses all through there.
Absolutely.
And then, like you said, they bring in these issues and environmental things like highways and other things come into place, destroying those communities. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to get to the social, emotional components of how we can, as Black men, be healthy, be strong as a Black community. How can we build together and make great things happen? We're going to take a quick commercial break, invite somebody to the conversation. We'll be right back with more Straight Talk.
You're listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
It's time to play Super Raffle from the Michigan Lottery, the raffle with the richest payout ever. The best odds ever to win the $6 million grand prize, plus 2 prizes of $1 million, 12 $100,000 prizes, and thousands of other cash prizes, the most in Michigan Lottery history. But tickets are limited and on sale in stores only for a limited time, with the drawing on or after September 8th. So get your Super Raffle ticket today. Knowing your limits is always the best bet.
Club Keno Tripler Time from the Michigan Lottery is back with a twist, and players are so excited they're making up new words to describe it.
It's triplerific.
All this month, when you buy a Club Keno ticket with the new +3, you can find a doubler or tripler message.
Triplerize me.
If you do and you win, then all your Club Keno prizes will be doubled or tripled.
I'm gonna get triplerified.
And +3 gives you 3 more Club Keno numbers to match and win.
That's triplerosity.
That's Club Keno Tripler Time.
With the new +3.
Only from the Michigan Lottery. Knowing your limits is always the best bet.
In your 40s, your body break down.
The comedy of Leslie Jones.
You trying to have sex after 46? Put my leg down! Put my leg down!
The hilarious Leslie Jones.
I got osteoporosis.
Friday, September 19th, on stage at the Temple Theater. Buy your tickets now at templetheater.com. Don't miss Leslie Jones.
Thank you so much.
Woo-wee, Mid-Michigan. It's H-O-T hot outside, but my deals are hotter. Ryan Wasik here from Bell-Wasik GMC Buick, your only local Buick dealer and home of the lifetime warranty. And this month, I want to help you stop sweating in a ride you're regretting. That means you could drive a nicer, newer car for just $10 down. That's right. I'm making it easy to get a hot deal on a cool ride. So even if your old ride is a hot mess, no more fretting and regretting. Just bring it to me, and I'll help you drive a nicer, newer car for $10 down. Plus, at Bell-Wasik GMC Buick, we're all about acceptance and affordability. My solution specialists are one cool crew. We'll help you find a car you love for a monthly payment that you can afford. So stop sweating in a ride you're regretting. Get a hot deal on a cool, nicer, newer ride and drive for just $10 down today. But hurry, you got to strike while the iron's hot, because a deal this hot will cool down fast. I'm Ryan Wasik, and I'm your dealer for the people. See all my rides at RyanApproved.com. That's RyanApproved.com.
Credit and $10 down requires bank approval. Negative equity may be refinanced. Offer absolutely ends July 31st, 2025.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Hey, that's the spirit. Right now, we're celebrating free with a free STP oil filter when you buy 5 quarts of oil and free Duralast brake pads when you buy 2 rotors. Like always, free battery testing, charging, and recycling at every store. Celebrate free at AutoZone, now through July 28th.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
July 4th may be over, but Macy's July 4th sale is still on, with everything you need to keep the vibe going all summer long. Hosting? Turn your backyard into a party destination with 40 to 50% off outdoor dining and entertaining. Beachbound? Turn heads in this season's hottest swimsuits, sundresses, and more. Get away with the kids? Superpower their summer with 25 to 60% off toys from Nerf and more. But hurry, because the sale ends tonight at Macy's. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Everyone has a fave Wendy's Frosty flavor. And when you're choosing from chocolate or vanilla, it's not that hard. But now there's all new Frosty Swirls and Frosty Fusions. So try picking your fave from Oreo Brownie Fusion, Pop-Tarts Strawberry Fusion, Strawberry Swirl, Brownie Batter Swirl, Caramel Swirl, and Caramel Crunch Fusion. Not so easy now, huh? For a fresh way to Frosty, gotta be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, hours may vary by location. Oreo is a trademark of Mondelez International Group. Pop-Tarts is a trademark of Kellogg North America Co., LLC. Used with permission.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Hey, Tigers fans, the Stormmaster Exteriors Tigers bus trip is officially sold out. That's right, every seat is gone. A big thank you to everybody who signed up to ride with us for a day of big league action. This trip is brought to you by Stormmaster Exteriors. Missed out? Keep listening. More great events and deals are coming your way soon.
RocketGrabPlus.com. RocketGrabPlus.com.
Why pay full price when you can enjoy amazing deals instead? Score epic deals like half off a $10 voucher for ice cream at Fuzzy's for only $5. Also, be sure to check out our deals from the Healing Room Wellness Center, where you can get half off a $100 gift certificate or get a 1-month Diamond Ultimate membership only $149. That's a $299 value. But hurry, these deals won't last forever. Visit RocketGrabPlus.com today.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
It's Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
This is Kareem. We're back with more of Straight Talk. I am sitting here with Casson Gates, mental health therapist. And before the break, we began a conversation talking a little bit about trauma and off script. And I got to bring y'all up to speed because I think that we had some of the best conversation off air. But let's see if we can get back into that vein. We were talking about trauma. And I was sharing with you how we as a community, as people, particularly Black men, we have this thing called historical trauma that we deal with. And many people say, oh, you got to get over that. It was in the past. You've never been a slave. I've never possessed a slave. Now you're making excuses. Get over it. Let's speak to that particular issue, historical trauma.
So trauma is not just in the mind. It's in the body. The body keeps the score of things you've experienced, right? So if I was using an anecdotal explanation, so you're the young child and your parents or caregivers, whomever, say, don't touch that stove, it's hot. We've all been there. You touch the stove anyway. It's not a traumatic experience, but it's trauma to the hand.
Right.
Burn, singe. Your body always remembers what that felt like. Now you can take that to the highest level that you like. Death, near-death experience, family members. You can go as far as you like with that. So when you start talking about how we're moving out here in this society, right? Those experiences that we have, the microaggressions, the racism, the limited access to good health care. You think about when you go and visit with a physician. Historically, for Black men, the numbers, again, just the data, it's on an average of 3 to 5 visits to finally get identified what your presenting issues are.
Wow.
That's defeating.
Right. No, it is.
It's defeating. You go in, you try to figure out what's going on that affects you. Okay. So when you're out here moving in this society and you're having these kind of experiences, it has a way of pulling on you. So you have to be able to understand, how do I navigate this space so I can keep my energy up and be in a good space to be able to provide for myself and my family.
You know, I wanna kind of put this in the terms that we were talking before. And Rich Walker out there said muscle memory, like our minds and our bodies have memory.
Yes.
And if you've ever been to the gym and you are ever in good shape and you fall off the wagon, like I'm doing right now, it's hard to get back into it. But once you get going a little bit, your body remembers your best fit self.
Yes.
And your body and your muscles will respond accordingly. In like manner, we were talking about historical trauma, and we were talking about how it is a very real thing and how your body remembers these points. And I injected into the conversation. If you all remember, every young Black man that's out there, Black women as well, will remember when we were looking at Boys in the Hood. And it was funny because when you were giving an explanation of something else, that came to mind. And the portion of the movie where Trey and what's his brother's name? Ricky and Trey. They were riding through South Central LA, and the lights come on behind them. They knew that the drama was getting ready to happen. Trey's father had been telling him, you know, this is how you do, this is how you, when you get pulled over by the police officer. He had an understanding somewhat of his rights. But there's always that one situation. We always know, hey, we get triggered by this. We tense up. I was sharing a story in this course when we were doing ACEs training. Shout out to Ashley Talley on the great training, her and Wording Talley on teaching our community ACEs, adverse childhood experiences. And in that place, I was sharing about how I'm a well-adjusted Black man. I tend to think that I've been dealing with the issues that are presented to me. But I got up at 11:30 at night once. I said, I'm gonna just run over here to, it was maybe 9:30. It was getting dark. Let me run over to Walmart real quick. And I jumped in the car, and while I was driving, I had my do-rag on still. Some of us still wear do-rags. I had my do-rag on. And when I got out there, I saw a police officer up the street. Initially, my first response, let me take my do-rag off, because I know that my body made a response before my mind even began to process what was going on.
Yep.
Those types of things are indicative of how we live in this community. How detrimental is this historical trauma, this compounded trauma? How bad is that on our somas, on our bodies?
It's very significant. Trauma comes out, your body will keep the score, but trauma comes out in many ways. Migraines, stomach ulcers, regular headaches constantly, chest pain, blood pressure. It's going to come out some kind of way, which takes us into the next segment. Why it's so important for us to seek some level of mental health services. We understand the driving point behind any services that you have from anyone by far is a relationship. Okay, we want you to be able to identify a place that you can go, you feel comfortable, but there has to be a therapeutic alliance. You have to feel like this person that I'm working with. And again, you can go across the board this with anything. Your medical doctor. If you're working with a medical doctor and there's no connection, you move on. Same thing with therapy.
So you have to find an individual that fits you.
That fits you.
Okay.
That fits you. And we know some of the barriers are, we just feel like that macho thing. I feel like I don't need it. Man, I'm good. I can get through this. I'm gonna power through it. That doesn't bother me.
I don't want nobody in all my business.
I don't want nobody knowing my business. We need all people to understand, particularly our brothers, that it's okay to find someone to communicate with that you trust, feel comfortable with, and be able to talk through some of these presenting issues that you face with and deal with on a daily basis. Last time I visited with you briefly, I had a session that I did over at the YMCA for men on loss and grief. It was a really successful program. Gentlemen came out and we visited. Some of the gentlemen were in real distress. Now, here was the challenge that I had with them and for them. They came to the program and they participated. We learned a lot of good information, but at the end of it, they stopped.
What's next?
And that's the key to the mental health model. All right. You have to be able to work through it. Silence doesn't heal the experience. It keeps it alive.
Wow, I need you to say that again one more time.
Silence doesn't heal the experience. It keeps it alive.
So you're giving a new understanding of what we mean when we say that people are suffering in silence.
Yes. So when you have something that you've been dealing with and that's resonating with you and that's causing you a lot of discomfort, you're getting headaches, backaches, ulcers, and so forth and so on, tremors. That's your body trying to tell you, okay? And oftentimes we try to repress it or suppress it, all right? But I ain't dealing with that. And that's when the substance abuse come in. Now we start taking the nips and using the narcotics, and because we're trying to push it away. And it becomes very important that these are things that you need to address so that you can stay present and active with your family.
You're addressing something that is very important that I think as a community we need to have real conversations, because we've taken on the understanding or the narrative by other folks that our community, we just weed heads, we just want to be high. We just like being high because it's fun, and that's the thing. But people are dealing with real issues, and you bring up this concept. I remember when we were studying in physiology, brain physiology, psychosomatic. There is a real physical connection between what happens up here and what happens here.
100%.
And so we as a people have to begin to make sure that we're okay in the head, because if we're not okay in the head, and all of us are struggling. When we talk about mental health, we're not saying that you're crazy. All of us got a little bit of crazy in us. So mental health, good mental health is what we're striving for. Are you in a good place? And I challenge those of you who are listening right now, as we're having this conversation and this dialogue, I want you not to just listen and be like, "Ooh, this is a good conversation," but really that mental health checklist. And I don't know if you have it with you or if you can, some things that we need to do, a checklist of things that we need to take a look at to determine, are we in a good place mentally in terms of our mental health. Jimmy Green says, it's taken me decades to overcome the terrible traumas I had as a child and left a lot of hurt in the wake of my journey through this life. It reminds me of the saying, it is easier to build strong children than repair broken men. We have a lot of young boys that need some kind of therapy or care. It's hard as hell to navigate this life without it. We certainly thank you, Cherise Steele Phillips. A lack of trust is a barrier for even having an advocate, let alone a counselor. Walk or snowball effect. It's real. So, Casson, what we're talking about is a very real thing. When we talk about what is considered good mental health, because we all have issues that we deal with. We all have struggles that we have in our mind. We have those voices that are continually talking that we have to challenge and to either conquer those giants or put them in a box till we can deal with those later. What are some key indicators for us as men that we need to have as it relates to our mental health?
So all of it is always relative to you specifically. But if there's anything that's giving you distress, that's bothering you, and you are aware of it, okay, you know what it is. For some people, it could be finances. Again, we talked about the program that we had in grief and loss. A lot of people always associate with loss and grief associated with death. So you take someone who was an exemplary worker, fantastic job at what they did. They come into work one day and they're terminated. Okay, that's a very traumatic experience. This person is going to cycle through a large amount of emotions, with one of the end results being their finances have just changed. Okay, so if that person is working through that, they need to understand, I need to talk with someone about this to help me process this, because they just dealt with two significant loss. One, what they would be considered an unjustified termination, and then two, the life change for their finances and how they're going to take care and provide for their family. So they need to be able to identify, just to answer your question, what are some of the things? We have to be able to identify, where am I in this life? What's going on with me? And we all have an idea. And if you don't, that's even more of a reason for you to identify a therapist, to go in and have a conversation. Man, I'm not sleeping well. I'm not resting. My mind is wandering all the time. I just can't seem to get things in order. And you talk about it. And a good therapist will do a good assessment and give you some insight on directions that you should probably look into.
Man, you said a lot there. But what I do want to you to address really quickly in about a minute, the issue with lack of sleep and how telling that is to a person's mental health state.
So sleep is psychological. If you're not sleeping, there's an underlying issue that is keeping you awake. Of course, unless you're in significant pain. You know, if you're in pain, but we're taking that off. But there's nothing physically wrong with you when you're recovering from surgery or an ailment and you're not sleeping. That's a very, very high correlation that there's something underlying that's keeping you awake.
And so we're going to take a quick commercial break, but I want y'all to think about that. How are your sleep patterns? And we're not just talking about psychologically, but also if you're waking up each day at that 3:30 o'clock in the morning, that's a indication that there may be some internal issues that are going on within your body. I know that 3:30, 3 o'clock is that liver time. So when you're waking up every day at that time, there may not only be psychological issues, but there may be biological issues that we need to deal with. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to get back into this conversation about mental health therapies, finding someone who matches your psyche so that you can get the help that you need. Black brothers, let's tap in. Stay back. Stay here. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on Kiss 107.1.
Woo-wee, Mid-Michigan. It's H-O-T hot outside, but my deals are hotter. Ryan Wasik here from Bell-Wasik GMC Buick, your only local Buick dealer and home of the lifetime warranty. And this month, I want to help you stop sweating in a ride you're regretting. That means you could drive a nicer, newer car for just $10 down. That's right. I'm making it easy to get a hot deal on a cool ride. So even if your old ride is a hot mess, no more fretting and regretting. Just bring it to me, and I'll help you drive a nicer, newer car for $10 down. Plus, at Bell-Wasik GMC Buick, we're all about acceptance and affordability. My solution specialists are one cool crew. We'll help you find a car you love for a monthly payment that you can afford. So stop sweating in a ride you're regretting. Get a hot deal on a cool, nicer, newer ride and drive for just $10 down today. But hurry, you got to strike while the iron's hot, because a deal this hot will cool down fast. I'm Ryan Wasik, and I'm your dealer for the people. See all my rides at RyanApproved.com. That's RyanApproved.com.
Credit and $10 down requires bank approval. Negative equity may be refinanced. Offer absolutely ends July 31st, 2025.
Hi, it's me, Flo, here to tell you that with the Progressive Home and Auto Bundle, you get 24/7 protection, so you're covered no matter where the day takes you.
Even bad hair day?
Yep.
And tree branch fell on my car day?
Especially that day. Progressive has you covered 24/7 for your home and auto.
How about thought it was chicken, but it was tuna day? Or overnight construction outside my bedroom day?
Those days too.
Great, because that was each day this week.
Been there. Well, at least your home and auto are covered every day with Progressive.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Are you over 50 and constantly feeling tired, bloated, or just a little off? Don't ignore it. Those could be signs that your liver is crying for help. As we age, our liver, which is essential for metabolism, digestion, immunity, and detoxification, needs extra support and protection. If neglected, it can leave you feeling sluggish and constantly off your game. That's where Active Liver from New Nordic comes in. Available in easy-to-take tablets or delicious gummies, Active Liver combines powerful natural ingredients like turmeric, milk thistle, and globe artichoke extract to help support healthy liver function. With Active Liver, you're giving your body an essential daily defense against toxins from alcohol, fatty foods, and sweets, helping you reclaim your energy, improve digestion, lose the bloat, and strengthen your immunity so you can look and feel your best again. Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
Whoa. More fiber?
What?
Down here, buddy. It's me, your spoon. Constipation with belly pain still coming back?
Yeah.
Talk to your doctor. It could be irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, but Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
We're definitely going to be late to the concert. I feel like we should be there by now.
I'm just taking a little detour. I gotta fill up my gas tank, and I know this place a couple towns over where the gas is cheaper.
Are you serious? We're gonna be late for the concert because you're driving out of the way for cheaper gas? Just use Upside.
What's Upside?
Upside is the free cashback app that gets you real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, I can get cash back just for buying the gas I need anyway?
Yes, I use it all the time, and I've made around $200. Now pull over so you can download the Upside app before we miss the concert.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code WELL to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank, PayPal, or as a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WELL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code WELL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's code WELL.
July 4th may be over, but Macy's July 4th sale is still on with everything you need to keep the vibe going all summer long. Hosting? Turn your backyard into a party destination with 40 to 50% off outdoor dining and entertaining. Beachbound? Turn heads in this season's hottest swimsuits, sundresses, and more. Get away with the kids. Superpower their summer with 25 to 60% off toys from Nerf and more. But hurry, because the sale ends tonight at Macy's. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Looking for snacks that taste amazing and make you feel good? With this week's exclusive deal, you can score 2 $40 gift certificates to Lolo Bee's Lounge in Bay City for just $20 each. For this deal, you must buy 2. That's $80 in value, yours for just $40. Whether you're fueling up for the day or treating yourself to something sweet, Lolo Bee's has you covered. Head over to RocketGrabPlus.com to snag your deal today.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Walk right through the door. It's all here to explore. With guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Drink responsibly, B21.
You're listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
This is Kareem. We're back with more Straight Talk. I'm sitting in here with mental health therapist Casson Gates. And before the break, we were having this conversation about therapy and treatment and brothers needing to go in and get this help. What is the leading issue that you see happening with our brothers and why they are not really locking in on this mental health treatment or therapies?
Yeah, so without putting evidence-based science behind it, just as a therapist, when I speak with them, and you know, I work at Saginaw Valley, I do a lot of work with the student athlete department. When I finally get an opportunity to talk to Black men, one of the most prominent reasons that they state for not coming in for services, and this is across the board, they just feel like they don't need it. Like, literally, the word that I've heard probably the most is, I'm good. Like, they use that language, like, I'm good, I'll be all right, I'm good. You know, and then, of course, the slang and colloquialism, I'm straight, you know. And then when I talk to adult men, like, again, when I did the seminar for grief and loss, they just feel like, let me tell you a quick story about one of the gentlemen, and of course, I won't share his name, but he shared that going through, when we were in the session, he's going through therapy, he said, when he would smile, he looked a lot like his mother. She passed. And he stopped smiling.
Wow.
Because he couldn't bear to see her. He would brush his teeth in the dark.
Wow.
turn the lights out and brush his teeth in the dark because he just couldn't bear the pain of when he would smile or show his teeth while he was brushing them, the pain that it would bring him.
Wow.
He never sought therapy to address that. Another gentleman talked about he sounds so much like his father that he would prank his family. He stopped talking because he didn't want to hear the sound of his dad's voice.
And you're giving us indications and indicators that when your emotional or your mental state makes you take changes in how you live,
yes, it does.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yes.
So that's a great way when the things that you're doing, you stop doing or you alter because of some episodic response, then we need to do something about that.
Absolutely. And they just feel like I got it. I'm good. I'll be all right.
Let's address, because we don't have a lot of time, but I do want to address the issue of faith and counseling. Because some people want to cast out, we're going to cast that devil out. We're going to pray it out. God's going to make it okay. But there is a need for counseling in the household of faith. And faith and counseling are not anti, but they can be co-equals, right?
Coexist. So it would be very important, and I know you do, but if we can get the clergy across the spectrum to share with their parishioners that God gave us the science of all things. Okay. So we can utilize services that are aligned with the services or the science that God allowed to be present. You get medically ill, you go into a medical physician. Okay. So when you get mentally ill, you go visit with a mental health professional.
And so it doesn't mean, there's that stigma that we've had in our community. Man, they crazy. They talk to a therapist.
Yeah.
So how do we begin to overcome and normalize brothers going in and getting the help that we actually need? How do we normalize that?
Okay, first of all, who knows? They only find it out one way.
You're telling
them.
Right.
And if you're comfortable with telling them, that's okay. But this is how we earn our living, right? So this is a very confidential driven business. This is what we do. And then again, I have peers that I'm close to, and they just wouldn't want to work with me. And equally, I wouldn't want that dual relationship with them because they're my peer. Find you someone that you can talk with that's not associated with you. Okay? And I'd be more than willing to help anyone to identify a therapist to help them along their way. That's what we do. We have connections and avenues that's readily available to share with people. Hey man, why don't you go and talk to this guy or go and talk to this guy?
I get that question so many times from parents, from single moms. They want a Black therapist for their Black child to have an opportunity to address issues that are out there. Before this show gets away from us, I want you to share your information, and then also maybe if there's a resource where people can go to look, so that they can begin. And remember, it's you finding the person that fits for you. Just because maybe your insurance provider or your health provider, your PCP, that's correct? Okay. Yeah. So that they may give you someone or suggest someone doesn't mean that you have to have the person that they give you. It's about you and what makes you feel comfortable. What are some areas or some places that we can find what we need to find in terms of finding that person?
Psychology Today is a really, really great resource. It's kind of like the creme de la creme right now. You go on there, you type in what it is that you're looking for, and they'll populate. If you're looking for a Black lady therapist or Black male therapist or Caucasian therapist that you feel is culturally competent, whatever it is that you're looking for, you can find them on Psychology Today. And you can vet them. Like this one, this is what they do, this is what they do, this is how they do it. And you get online with them, you make a connection with them. And again, you talk about privacy. You can do this stuff online. You never have to leave your house. It's private. It's private.
You said something that's so vitally important, and you were talking about cultural competency. I used to train cultural competency. And what I realized is that there are a lot of people who have credentials that want to operate and want to come and heal our communities and save our communities, but they are not culturally competent. Do you find that is one of the roadblocks that many individuals, especially being in our community, is having someone who is culturally competent and then also culturally sensitive enough and has an understanding and awareness of our community to effectively engage, how problematic is that for our community to have those resources? Because I think that you're somewhat of a unicorn, but we're making some strides in changing that. But how much of an issue is that right now?
It's a huge issue. I mean, it's in the high 90s.
Wow.
95% of a problem. They just don't live among us. You can study things and see all kind of examples on the whiteboard and AI and all that stuff, but you have to have relationship. It's all relationship driven. A different culture living among your population and culture has a different understanding. When we say my cousin died, they don't understand what that means. Oh, your cousin died. No.
Man,
no.
please say it.
No.
You know what?
That's my brother. My brother that I grew up with. They don't.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, man. The white people that were around me growing up, I didn't even know I didn't think white people had cousins because they never talk about where my cousins are like brothers to me.
Exactly.
And so, not understanding that dynamic, and I see, it's crazy because we're having this conversation, but the psychology that goes into professional sports. White America comes into our conversation. You're the person. You have to make this decision. It's you because you're the player. You're the athlete. They don't understand where you're going, but they don't understand that they are not culturally competent to understand that. Yes, that's my grandmama, but grandmama got more authority than mama got.
Exactly.
And having an understanding of that nuanced interaction with our community is vitally important. I need you to give your information. We are in what I would consider a place where we're getting ready to get into the laboratory. Myself, Mr. Gates, Mr. Gray, Twani, and also Brian Pruitt. And there's some things that we're talking about. We're having conversations that we're putting some things together. Those brothers will follow in sequence, and then we will collaboratively come together. And I'm going to challenge, because I believe that we have a need for mentors, but I think we also have a need for mental, emotional, and those therapies that are going to deal with us here. Agreed 2000%. This is Demond Tibbs. Either some legitimately care but are culturally competent, but aren't culturally competent, or they don't care and they see it they see bodies and income. That is so vitally important. Give us your information before we get off here.
So if anyone want to contact me, I'm at Griot Counseling, all one word. Griot Counseling, GRIOCOUNSELING @gmail.com.
All right. And so someone put out there several qualified black males. I always call him William McDowell, but Melvin McDowell's doing great work out there. We got Twani Gray out there. We have my brother Casson, who y'all see what I'm talking about. This dude is just like, when he talks, it's like butter, and you just kind of settle into yourself. Those are things that are so vitally important. Being able to make people feel at peace, because you're not going to reveal anything that's important if you're not in a place of comfort. I'm going to Twani, Lushan, Gray, my little brother. Absolutely. These guys are doing great work, and they are what I would consider, they are like diamonds in our community, because it takes a special individual. And so, Casson, I say this to you all the time. Yeah. I'm not saying this just to toot your horn or blow up. That doesn't benefit me or anybody else. But the work that you brothers are doing, I am so thankful for your role in this community. I'm thankful for the work that you're doing. We need to really make sure. And you said something that I'm going to tap into as soon as we get off this phone. Our pastors, with everything that is going on, and I'm talking to SAP, the head of SAP, Saginaw African American Pastors. That's Bishop Coleman over there, Hurley Coleman Jr., all of those pastors in the city, Dr. Hayes on down. We need to have a moment where we come together as pastors. And I think there's a conversation that you and those other brothers that we just mentioned need to have, because with the cuts that are taking place, there is going to create a lot of stressors on families, on individuals, on the brothers that are out there, on our sisters. And we need to be equipped and know where those resources like yourself are, so that when these things are present, we got to prepare in advance for what is coming. So I want to thank you. What would you like to leave our listeners with on today? But you'll be back. You're not going far. You're going to be back.
The key thing is understand where you are. And if you are in a state that you feel like you can benefit from some help, take the next step to identify somewhere that you can go and just talk. My personal reference is that anyone should visit with a mental health therapist twice a year. If it's just to go in, do a 90-minute session and just talk. Tell them where you are, what's going on, what it is you're trying to do, what are your goals, whatever it is, and get some meaningful insight to help you figure out and settle in to how you can navigate these things. And the final thing is develop a self-care plan. You need to be doing some walking alone. Walking with peers is fine, but on occasion you need to go walk alone to be able to clear your mind and deal with some of the issues that are presenting to you. You should always find a little level to do some meditation. It's very healthy for you. Turn the TV off, phone off, music off, and just sit and collect your thoughts. And the final thing is I use a program called a worry journal. Jot down things in the morning or afternoon, 5 or 6 things, 2 to 3 minutes of what it is just troubling you. When you get them down on the paper, tear them up, tear them all the way completely up, toss them in the trash can. 3 things just happened. I heard you in my consciousness, I addressed you in the moment, and I resolved you. And move on about your day. That helps you process these things that are sitting on you.
Wow. Thank you so much. The doctor is in the house. We're going to get you right. Mind, body, and spirit. Certainly want to thank you guys for tuning in this week. Remember, these next few weeks, we're going to continue this conversation. We have my brother Twani Gray coming in, also dealing with the mind. I need to reach out to my brother Melvin McDowell over there, McDowell Healing Arts, doing amazing things. And my brother Brian Pruitt. We're going to all come together. So we're going to have that conversation. Tune in each week. We're going to continue this vein of conversation. He is a resource that is valuable in our community. So are these brothers. We want to thank them. Thank you for the work that you're doing, because it is invaluable. And in his words, not mine, this is a mental health therapist, Gates. He says that what is silent does not get healed. When you stay in silence, it is not going to heal. He can only heal what you're willing to reveal. I want you guys to take care of yourselves and each other. As always, God bless you, grace and peace.
You've been listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1. The views and opinions expressed